Well, welcome to this new show. Introduction, Nate.
Welcome, guys, to
Yet another show.
not yet another show. Welcome, guys, to this here new
show.
Revitalized.
Oh, sorry.
Manifesting paid partnership. So if you're watching and you work here or you know them,
Please.
man, this is the year we get paid partnerships. Please.
Yeah, but for now, since they've not paid, Andrew, take this away.
away. Songa mbali.
Buddha.
Yes.
How you doing, man?
Niko salama kabisa. Nimefungua mwaka na mpigo shamra kelele na nderemo. But niko sawa bana. Januari imekuwa na miezi 3 in the first week.
Already.
I was looking at the calendar by the way, thinking to myself, hey, yani tuko 8th.
No bado.
What?
Day 369.
No, we have like 21 other days to go.
Guys, it's not that bad, is it?
No.
I think
it's not.
I think the challenge normally is we've already anticipated how
difficult it's
going to be.
So
then when it manifests,
Yeah.
when it shows up that way, you're like, well, la.
So for those of you watching, manifest December vibes on a January budget.
Exactly. There you go.
Kwani iko nini?
We
serve a
spoil
living God.
yourself. Amen.
Hey.
Hallelujah.
We shall not lack. We pray the prayer of Jabez upon everyone.
Amen.
Tutaweka till number pia hapo chini.
Tuma na ya kutoa.
Ya kutoa tafadhali.
Tafadhali.
Tunajua ni till number lakini excess duty. Tuma na ya kutoa.
You guy. Umetoboa masikio?
Unajua kuna song ya Nyashinski anasema kwa now you know yosema mama kijana wako amepotea. Wenzake wakiendelea ni maskino tu anatoboa.
Here is the
so mimi nataka kuambia kwamba mimi naendelea kimaisha na pia masikio bado natoboa.
Good stuff.
Anyway, by the way, December 1st, I just woke up and said I would look cool in piercings. I have never been a very adventurous person with my body.
Yeah.
I have been naturally conservative.
Right.
Like you wouldn't find me with G piercings with by the way, for the longest time hairstyle ilikuanga ile hata ndevu square, like I don't know, I was just always conservative. So nikajiambia, man, after crossing over to the 30th, let me try something.
Gotta be different.
Yeah, let me try something out of the norm. So I got my ears pierced.
Hey, do you, man?
Yeah.
Ain't no bad vibe here. Do you, bruv?
What were bad energy, they should stay far away.
Yeah, please. This year, no bad energy.
Yeah, by the way, we don't want. You, yourself, how is it? How goes it? And who goes there in this man? John Oyamo. Musingo.
5 for fool. Who goes there? I won't lie. I think I'm confused.
Why?
Because I don't want to say I don't know what to expect, but I really don't know what to expect. Because
is it a January thing or is it 2022?
No, it's 2022.
Okay.
Last year, like the better part of the third quarter,
yes,
I have not worked. Like zero work. What has sustained me is God.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people will be like, oh, you know.
Na tuseme tu.
No, me tuseme tu. Like it's for real.
Unajua wale watu wa, hey bro, unakaa poa, ni God.
Ni God.
Yeah, kwa flip side.
Ni God. So January has started with those things for confusion because you're not sure where next paycheck is coming, what your next thing is.
Yeah.
And there's always that hope for, oh my God, 2022 is my year. We're going to do this. But then you wake up in the morning and you're like, is it really my year?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what my year should look like.
Given how the last 2 years have been.
Exactly. And I can't complain about the last 2 years.
Yeah.
The last 2 years have been perfect.
Yeah.
Because things have been working out properly.
Yes.
But
it was right there. Tulaifanyaga.
So, tulifanyaga properly. Last quarter, sikuifanya properly.
Yeah.
But God sustained me because of some of the work that we did. And That's what has been sorting us out. Come 2022, you have no idea what's going on, what's happening, nini. And here we are starting a show. No idea where it's going, but...
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen us on another show, msiseme, oh, here they go again.
We don't go.
Venye body count zimerudi 0. Hata sisi zile mashow zenye tumeona before. Zimerudi nio. By the way, mwaka mpya mambo mapya.
Here we go.
But based on what you're saying, you know, you've mentioned something about just being honest about how it has not been working out.
Yeah.
Like for the past quarter, the last quarter of the year. That was 2021. That is something that now going into the new year, you know, you have that burden of what happened and what didn't work out. And then a new year always brings with it new hope.
Yeah.
But there's the realities that start sinking in, you know, maybe after the Happy New Year, hey, this is the year, and then you start realizing we're in the same place as we were last month.
There's no movement.
Yeah.
There's no calls.
And it gets crazy because at the beginning of the year, there's so much aspirations and so much hope, but you're afraid at the back of your mind. Like, I think it's a subconscious thing. And I think it happens to a lot of us.
Yeah.
That we subconsciously still want to hold on to hope that, you know, it's going to be better, but the realities just keep checking in one at a time, and you're like, hey, what if this doesn't go right? What if we continue in this same pace? And I think that brings us to the essence of why we're doing this.
I was just going to say, it's funny how guys have been making a lot of jokes of, I hope this email finds you well.
The way that email finds you.
Not even
attached meme.
You go and
Shambles.
refresh Gmail and there's no email for I hope this finds you. I'd like, is it my email? Did I pay for my internet? I don't think so, because I'm refreshing. It's just zero. Yeah, like,
I don't think my net is working.
I don't think my net is working. I'm not
No
getting
new
any emails.
The opportunities are drying up.
But here we are.
Yeah.
I mean, the essence of this show, as Richie was saying, the essence of this show is being vulnerable.
Yes, and being able to talk about it.
Yes.
It's one thing to be vulnerable, and I feel like it's another thing to be able to talk about it.
Really?
Yeah. I can actually be vulnerable.
Uh-huh.
Like, mi najua vitu hazijaenda poa. Alafu nakuambia ile, by the journey vitu hazijaenda poa.
But is that vulnerability?
Alafu inaisha. Na kuna ile, by the journey, acha nikuambie. Maisha yangu mahali iko sahi, kuna hii na hii na hii. Na nahitaji usaidizi hapa na hapa na hapa. Na naona tukiendelea hivi, for our non-Swahili speaking audience.
Yeah.
By the way, John, at this point in my life, this is how things are going. And this is what is working, this is what's not working. And we have come together because you asked whether it was vulnerability or not. And to be honest, I can't give you a straight answer.
Right.
Because that is what we're here to unpack. I think it's a process.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that guys are going to say, and people have different experiences and different outlooks and worldviews on what vulnerability is.
Yeah.
But, see, we're here to unpack it.
That's true.
One by one.
I
Peel the onion. I was going to say peel
Banana.
the potato. Then I remembered, we have none. Standards ziko chini.
Zimeshuka. Hakuna chipo. Hawezi hata chipo iwa.
Where's the chipo iwa? Imekuwa bei ghali.
It's
too expensive.
It's too expensive. And vulnerability is also expensive.
Very.
Because you can't, and maybe that's where I think that the challenge is, you can be vulnerable, but who you're vulnerable to also matters.
Okay.
And I think that's where the challenge is, because if I come to you and I tell you, hey, my guy, kumekuwa kubaya the last few months, and then you just come to me and you tell me, me too, bro.
Yeah.
Me too. Na story naisha.
Never know vile maboy ukwa.
And which is painful, because
Pia wewe.
and I think, hey, pia umekuwa pabaya hivyo, mase is a job.
Or as Lewis would say, even you.
Even you are going through the same problem. I'm sorry, brother. I am sorry. But then again, the question is, does vulnerability then negate the fact that you have to have a solution. Because I think that's where the challenge is. A lot of people then aren't vulnerable because there's no solution.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try and be systematic about it then.
Hey.
So, what is vulnerability?
Just being bare.
Being bare. Just,
Like
you've laid yourself
I've laid
bare.
myself. Like I am susceptible.
Yeah.
That word.
Yes, that
to pain, to scrutiny, to hate, to love. That's what I understand vulnerability to be.
Yeah.
Like I need to be open inside. I'm an open book. The way people say that. And I don't think a lot of people understand what that is.
We say it, but we do not really
So I'm an
understand
open
it.
book, and being an open book means whatever you see is whatever you get.
Yes.
And whatever I say, that's what.
Wear your heart on your sleeve.
Way.
Or, nowadays. Young people do this nowadays. Ice cold. Ice running through my veins. That's not
Right.
vulnerability. Yeah, but I like what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep
So
going.
I don't know. So, and I think that's where you get to. I'm open. I'm telling you my pain. I'm telling you my happiness. And the question is, do I need that reciprocation back, or do I need a solution from you, then why am I calling you my friend? I think that's where there's a very, I don't know whether to call it a thin line, or it's black and white, or it's gray. It's one of those things where I don't know what vulnerability is when there's an expectation back. So I don't, and I think that's where people are playing at. I'm scared to tell you my truth because I don't know how you're going to handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
You want the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
I agree with you. I would more specifically narrow it down to scrutiny.
Right.
Like allowing yourself, opening up yourself to scrutiny. Because when you're being vulnerable with someone, be it a friend, be it a partner, be it, a social clique, there are levels to being vulnerable, I feel. There are guys who I can talk to about certain aspects of my life and know that, these guys, I go to them, there's no judgment, there's going to be a wholesome effect.
Right.
Because this is something that they have probably seen or have gone through.
Yeah.
And so I know I'm going to relate with them on one or another.
Right.
And this is because it's based off of a friendship or a relationship that has lasted for quite some years. So there's trust. I don't think you can be vulnerable with someone you don't trust.
Right.
There has to be that foundation.
Okay.
So other than foundation ya samaki, wekeni foundation ya trust.
Hey.
So hata kama ni katikati ya Januari. Anyway, so the
Mboga
aspect of
zimeisha.
trust. Mboga mazee. Unajua
Mboga imeisha.
kwanza cabbage imepiga comeback ingine deadly. Hii January.
Top
Top of the table.
Yeah.
Ilikuwa na game in hand 7 December. Mkikula mambuzi.
Sasa imerudi.
Sasa game in hand zote inazichapa tu 1-0. Bare minimum. Kaime imepanda table.
Tumeenda.
But so the aspect of vulnerability, as we're talking about it, being open and susceptible to scrutiny, but where the foundation is trust. Being able to be yourself, being able to be honest with yourself while talking to someone else about what you're going through. So I think that for me is what vulnerability would be. Don't worry, guys, we're going to get professionals on this show.
Yeah, we're not professionals.
So
we are just going through our pains.
Yeah, we have kidogo knowledge
being it
and
later.
experiences, and we just felt it's important for us to share them.
That's true.
Because that's what life is about, There's a few years back, I read a quote about friendship, and it was basically just allowing someone to be a part of your life and them allowing you to be a part of theirs. That life experience, sharing life experiences together, is a good foundation for friendship. And then now, when we talk about this whole aspect of vulnerability, I believe that there's a lot of facets
Right.
with regards to vulnerability. There's a lot of things that we can actually say, and I'm pretty sure the guys will be watching and they're like, these guys know nothing.
Nonsense.
We thought Jon Snow didn't know anything.
I mean,
These
now
guys know
that's why the
nothing.
comment section is there.
Yeah, so by the
Yeah.
way, guys, please comment, subscribe, give us your views as well. What you feel vulnerability is, what you think it is, and if you have a professional definition of vulnerability, you can share it with
Please.
us. And then let's get engaging because we also want to learn. From
That's true.
our
I think
audience.
that's a very important part that
Yeah.
we are also learning because
Yes.
we're not there yet.
Yes.
And even as we take that step, I was just thinking, is it necessary for someone to be vulnerable? Because I think there's that assumption of now we are friends, I have to be vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
But then, is it necessary for me to be vulnerable?
I don't think it is for everyone.
Right.
I don't think it's like to be vulnerable with everyone.
Right.
It's like I was saying earlier, there has to be a foundation of trust.
Okay.
That you have had a solid relationship with this person that you know and they also know you.
Yeah.
And you relate on, it could be on different levels. It could be someone who's senior, someone who's your peer, someone who's younger.
Yeah.
But you have a relationship that is solid and that has been there over a good period of time where you trust each other. There's no timeline by there. I can't say at 10 years, 15 years, 5 hours. No. There's the aspect of trust and communication. Now, being vulnerable with everyone, I can't. Let me be Kenyan here. Me personally, I don't think it is okay. Me, I honestly don't think I would advocate for it, like being vulnerable with everyone. Neither would I say I am at a point in my life where I am comfortable with vulnerability to a point where I talk to many people about it or share the deepest, darkest, or innermost things that I'm going through with other people. And I think
so.
It's a struggle.
Is it safe to say then, like you're saying, there's different levels of vulnerability with different people?
Yes.
You know,
yes.
there's a way I'm vulnerable with this person, vulnerable with this group of people, or this group of people.
Yes.
So, and you can't be vulnerable with everyone.
No.
Because not everyone is
Not
going to
in my
take
opinion,
is going to take your pressures the same way you expect someone else to take your pressures.
Yeah.
So then it's possible for us to say then you have your inner circle people, you have your outer circle, and you have your outermost circle.
The periphery
Huko wenye wako nje. Something similar to correct me if I'm wrong, Israelites and how the priests used to go.
Yes,
and
the temple had demarcations. There was the Holy of Holies.
Exactly.
Then,
hapa nje kidogo,
Yes.
then wale wako nje kabisa.
Yes.
So I think it's in the same aspect.
Yes.
Where there are people who are in the inner circle, you know, I can share with, I know I'll get my solutions from, I know I'll get this problem solved, and those kind of things.
Yes.
Now, the question would be then, are these only male or are they also female?
Next question.
Good one. Next
question.
Yeah.
I am not in this life to suffer. But yeah, I mean, that introduces a whole new dynamic.
Right.
Because we have, you know, there's a group of people who would say, by the way, this is mainly for men and for young men and older men. So we're just trying to talk as men.
Yeah.
Because that's what we are. You kind of noticed by the beginning of the show. Oh, by the beards, you know?
Hey! Beard gang. Notification gang. Hey! It's beard gang. Hey! That's what's up, man.
Man, a beard man thing.
Atujafika recross things. But.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think there are men who would say they find it easier to open up to chicks.
Right.
And there are others who would say they find it easier to open up to their fellow men.
Yeah.
I would say I honestly find it easier to open up to a brother who I have known for a long time because they've seen me through a lot of different stages in life. So whether it's a chick or a guy, I believe it's how well they know you and what is the value addition from your interaction with them? Because you can actually be vulnerable and say, I prefer talking to this chick. Then they're the type of person who, after you've said all you've had to say, they give you the emotional support, but going forward, there's nothing concrete.
Right.
So for me, I think it's also based on the outcome, because I know there are guys who, if I talk to, I know I'll come out of this whole conversation enriched. I know this is someone who's going to impact me in as much as I'm going through something that is not as comfortable as I would want, and even with regards to sharing, I know this is someone who, after having this conversation, they're going to offer a way forward, they're going to offer support, they're going to be there for me, or they're going to make sure that I don't walk through this process alone. Okay. So you can say that for you, maybe it's a fellow lady, no, not a fellow lady, but a lady who you like, or you have been friends with, or you have a support system with. Right. Or it could be a guy. But what do you get out of talking to this person, or engaging with this person, or being vulnerable with this person? What is in it? Sounds selfish, but what is in it for you after that conversation?
It does sound selfish.
It is.
My
selfish.
gosh.
Yeah,
you're so vain.
Like, yeah.
Oh my God.
What is, because, I mean, you're going through
that's why I'm sharing.
a tough time.
That's why
that's why I'm sharing at the end of the day.
Because,
so I actually need support. I actually need something out of this conversation. So, I mean, but be careful. Just have boundaries. Especially these men who say, I prefer talking to chicks. And the group of chicks who say, I prefer talking to men, less drama.
Men have more drama than
Red
you ever
flag.
Raise that flag very fast.
Hey, but what do you think, as to be honest?
Okay. The reason I asked that was because, does it change when you're talking to your group of boys who you, okay, let's put the inner circle.
Yeah.
You're married, right?
Yeah.
I'm married. The question is, does your wife get the preview of what your boys in the inner circle get?
Front row, third center, like the best seats in the house.
Okay. So, because I think that's where now the challenge normally is. There are very many people who will be like, my wife doesn't need to know everything that I'm going through, and then I tell my boys, and my boys will have the solution, and my wife will not have that solution, and those kind of things is why I was asking whether it's easier talking to men or talking to women. But I think the fact that you've brought your wife into this life of yours, it is
convinced her,
to join this
part of the process.
This problematic guy. I think it's important for them to know, and I think that's where also the part of communication then comes in. Yeah. Because as much as you're vulnerable, communicating it has to be part and parcel of the process. That's true. And I think I've fallen victim for that. Yes, I'm vulnerable, but I don't know how to communicate it to my wife most of the times. Like my wife has to pull it out of me because, and again, I think vulnerability also takes a step back in the sense that how we grew, how we were talked to, how we talked to our parents. I think there's always an underlying thing where you think, okay, I'm vulnerable, but can I communicate that I am vulnerable? Can I communicate that I'm in pain? Can I communicate that I have this problem? And that brings us to that fact that we are never vulnerable because we look at how people are looking at us. Johnny doesn't have money, so does that make me weak? And I think that's where now women go like, oh, you guys are just always thinking that because you have money now you're stronger. And like, I'm about to open a whole can of worms. I'm about to open a whole can of worms because of, if a lady's earning more than you, then you become weak. Okay, but let's not go there. That's a topic for another day. Pause. Tunarudi.
Let's get a
tunacircle back.
But just to echo what you're saying, I think what I've picked out and I agree with the most is the same way there are clear demarcations of who is in your inner circle, who is not, and who is at the periphery. That should be the same system when it comes to who you open up to or who you are vulnerable with. If you're in a situation where, say, you have a life partner, you're married, or what's the other situation? can we stay 6 months that has been legally recognized by government? If you're in a situation where you have a life partner, I think that should be the first point of your vulnerability and communication, because this is the person when the music fades and all is stripped away, that's the only one.
Wait.
Who back is
So
with
where
you.
is Jesus?
No. Jesus is at the center of it all. Omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. But you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
If you have a life partner, that should be the first point.
Okay.
Then for men, I believe you should have a band of brothers. You should have a support system. Outside of your partner, there should be a support
Should
system.
there be 300?
No. They should be Spartans.
Tonight we dine in hell.
I think, you must have a support system
Right.
of fellow men first. You can have ladies, for me, I feel that's secondary.
Right.
But you can't base it off of, there's this lady who I always talk to.
Right.
And you're a man. There are certain fundamental things that this lady won't understand. And that's where your partner comes in. So if that lady is not your partner, they should not be like in the priority list of who you most likely would run to or would talk to in situations where you're feeling you are going through something that you need to badly share.
Right.
And it's a deeply touching issue. So I feel like, those are just my thoughts on that. I feel like that's how we should really think about it, because if you don't have that clear demarcation, you might end up really opening up to, or being vulnerable to people, and it can open you up to emotional abuse. It can open you up to just a lot of things that might not really work out because you did not prioritize who you talk to.
Right.
And you did not take care also of the type of people you were talking to about your issues. You can't just talk to everyone. You must have a priority list of who you talk to. Yeah.
The part about emotional abuse, the part about being laughed at, the part about being... Because I don't think we're... Something my mom used to say a long time ago. We're not islands, right? We have friends somewhere, one way or another.
Yeah.
Even if
No man
it's
is
two,
an island.
Exactly. Even if it's
Or in
two
this
people.
gender-sensitive world, no woman or man or no
Someone
they
wants to
or
be
them
big words
is an
on
island.
the comments. So, and just because of that, we assume that everyone has a friend somewhere.
Yes.
Whether they are close or far apart or whatever, there's a friend somewhere. But why do we then have these problems that are cropping up everywhere, that men are dogs, men are not real, men are not
stepping up to the
men are not
plate.
stepping up to the plate. And yet, as you're saying clearly, and as I also believe, if you have your band of brothers who are pushing you towards the right thing, unless they're all pushing you towards the wrong thing, that's where now we have a problem, you know, because, and again, there's the what God gave us free will to then decide what is good for us and what's not good for us.
Yes.
But we, you and I,
In our vain power.
in our belief, understand that God's direction is the way to go.
Yes.
Right? Yes, we do have free will, but we do it around the parameters of
God's
what God
guidance.
has. Yeah, exactly. God's
Yeah.
guidance and the Holy Spirit. We don't want to get all spiritual, but ukishatuma pesa,
Shantara Baba.
shika raba
Oh,
pencil na pia
Ribo.
biro. I should have brought a Honda.
Guys, we're Pentecostal, so this comes naturally to us, by the way.
It's not taught. It's not taught. It's just,
It comes naturally.
It's a
30 years plus in the Pentecostal church. This is what you get.
here we go again.
I'm pretty sure our parents are very proud.
We don't know.
It should be.
Mama Richie, I saw Richard on a video.
Blasphemy!
Oh my goodness. Somebody needs to pray for him. Our pastor shall hear of this.
You guys know when I laugh hard, I really tear a lot. So
No, it's good. It means that you're
getting emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Yeah,
So,
but let's go.
challenge, and I don't know whether that can be changed. I don't know whether that is even feasible.
Yeah.
In the sense that what is right and wrong, because a lot of people have friends, but if I come to you and like give you my body count, and you applaud me on my body count, is that good or bad? You know, like if I come to you and are you going to match up to my body count and go like, oh my body, this weekend Solfest,
hey, register tunaifanyaga properly.
So, and I think that's where the challenge is. So yes, we're being vulnerable. We're being vulnerable to people who are either cheering us on, or we're being vulnerable to people who are going to reprimand us, you know, and counsel us. And
and I think that is the toughest bit about us as men. Have you ever noticed? I don't know about you, but have you ever noticed? You know that you need to talk to someone about a certain issue. But you start rationalizing it and you're like, hey, if I tell Johnny about this thing, we'll probably laugh about it. And then he's going to be mkali with me. He's really going to take this thing seriously. He's going to reprimand me. But if I tell another person, I know they'll let me off the hook easy. Or if I talk to someone else, then they wouldn't care less. They're nonchalant about it. So you decide to talk to the nonchalant one for the sake of just letting it out that you have to talk to someone about. And then you realize later it wasn't really beneficial. I feel like subconsciously we always know the right people to talk to about certain things. It's just that
it's the outcome.
It's the outcome. And we don't want to take up the responsibility or the burden of having to deal with the issues that we're bringing out, or in the event where you're being reprimanded, you do not want to deal with that. Like we want the juice, but we don't want the squeeze. Hey. Owada.
Pick and peel.
Hey.
Are you listening?
Paid partnership.
Choke.
Hey. Bay me panda.
Say it again.
Bay me panda. But I think, and this brings us to why we're actually doing this. Because we want to create a space where we talk about these things as men. We talk about it, we expose one another, we lay one another bare in front of one another. We get other people to tell us what we do not want to hear, what we would like to hear, how to help us. So I think that's the essence of everything that we're trying to do here and the process. But I think, honestly speaking, even right now, I know there are things that I can talk to a certain person about because I know, this one will laugh. It will be easier. And I know there are others who, But the funny part is, when I actually need real, long-lasting and tangible help, I'll go to the toughest ones.
But then
I talk to them because I know they're going to give me a long-lasting
That's the
solution
essence
to what
of
I need.
vulnerability then. Because if you think about it, then that's exactly what vulnerability should be. That I need to talk to someone knowing that I need a long-lasting solution rather than just a quick fix I talk to someone and it's out of my chest and I'm done. You know?
That's it.
And then maybe that's where people are also afraid of talking to God, because they know if I go to God and tell him, I did this yesterday night.
And the funny thing is, he knows. People think God is like Zeus with thunderbolts in his hand.
Think about it this way. Not everyone understands how God works. Okay? Because we when you're in your sin, deep in your feelings, in the element, you're not thinking about, hey, God is seeing me, God is checking me out, God can see what I'm doing.
God knows.
You know, it's like when you're sinning, it's like there's like a blanket that's covering you that you can come out of and go
I think it's psychological comfort. We just give ourselves psychological comfort so that we get on with it.
And finish. Then you come back and you come out and you're like, oh crap, I messed up. You know, it's like now you have a shadow that's carrying everything that you did in the past or whatever you just did in the last hour, and now God is looking at that shadow and going like,
Do you know what the play we did? The play we did, what was it called? The play about God, like projecting your life on Judgment Day.
Right, Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames.
No, there was Heaven's Gates and Hell's Flames. There was one we did.
All right, that was a long time ago. Yes, I remember.
So subconsciously, I always feel like that's how my life is. that
There's-
the things
there's
are
a
just being
video.
projected in a room somewhere.
People are
with
just watching.
Analysts.
Just going like, yeah.
And God
yeah,
is like,
he missed.
16th time, 12th time. Strike that one out.
Drat.
But this just brings us to the point of understanding. We are talking about all these issues because, one, we know that we are saved by grace.
Yes.
That's one. Two, we understand that it is our human nature to fall to sin because, I mean, all have sinned and we fall short of the glory of God. But how do we help one another through this process, through this thing called life?
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, so should one man sharpen another. It's very important for us to understand that because that way we invite not just criticism, we invite not just critiques and comments, but we invite wholesome conversations.
Yeah.
I think that should be the essence of everything that we do. And if I had $1 for every time I said essence of this,
Shot!
I feel like I've said essence so many times.
The essence of this show, the essence of this drink, the essence of our manhood, the essence of this scene.
The essence is the essence.
Well, that's your aura. Your
But
essential aura.
That's my essential aura.
But yes, I mean, as the word says, iron sharpens iron, and so should a man sharpen another.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe with that basis, or that base is where now things should happen, where you're being reprimanded, or you're being told this, or you're being told this is wrong, or this is right, or go on, a pat on your back, go ahead, do whatever you need to do. But then again, there's also the opening up to people, opening up to your friends, opening up to that. I think a lot of people think that criticism is bad. And I think maybe it's how it's put, but I don't think criticism is bad. It's one, how we handle it. Two, what we take out of that criticism.
Yes.
Because, when someone comes and tells you, oh, you did this thing wrong and whatever, there's that side of you that goes like, he or she doesn't like what I do.
Yes.
He or she does not like me. That's why they're criticizing.
That's why they're saying it, yeah.
And sometimes it's a small switch to just look at, okay, what is he or she seeing that she or he has decided to criticize, and when you sit down and look at it again from their perspective, then you're like, oh, they're looking at it wrong because I presented it this way. Whereas if I presented it this way to them, then they would have understood. Again, we can't please everyone, and I think that's where one thing that needs to be put clear. We can't please everyone. Yeah. And we're not here to please everyone.
Not at all.
And if your band of brothers is those people who you can't please, then I guess you're the wrong band of brothers. One movie that I think I enjoy up to this time is Magnificent Seven. Yeah. These guys were... watched it. If you've not watched it, please go and get a DVD. I'm not saying go Pirate Bay, but hey, if you want to go, we can go. But hey, do not pirate.
Well.
So
kwani ni kwa nchi nyingine?
Kwani ni kesho. So when these guys come together, they come together for a common cause. Yeah. It's all about money. It's all about, I'm coming here to get the money and stuff like that. But there's a scene where one of them is like, I can't do this. It's not even about the money. It's just I'm scared and whatever, and he bounces. But Denzel talks to him and goes like, we've come this far. You can't run away now. I mean, if it's about fear, we've got your back and all those kind of things. Yeah. Those motivational talks, the ones that Optimus Prime gives you, baka you feel, my brothers,
I'm ready to do this.
Let's do this, But after that, I think, again, when you're reprimanded and when you're told that this is wrong or this is right or this is how you should do or go about it, there's that side of you that will either take it and run with it or decide, I don't care what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Let me continue with what I'm doing. Which is what this guy did. He was like, it's cool, thank you for your pep talk, but I'm out. You know. But he came back to his senses and came back to the fight because he was like, okay, you know what? There's some truth in it. There's truth in what these people are saying. And I think that's where vulnerability should also be. Apart from us being vulnerable to speaking, there needs to be that vulnerability of accepting what we're being told. Is it right? Is it wrong? Is there truth in it? If there's truth, take it. If there's no truth, bounce, you know. But that's where I think where I would say what vulnerability is.
I do not want to add or remove anything to what you have just said because I feel like you have done it so well. So
Scare this guy.
mi sitaki kuongeza. Nitaharibu. I don't want to be that auntie who ongeza. You know, we're all coming from the Christmas period.
Yeah.
There's always that scenario in the kitchen during Christmas where there's the auntie, or for the non-biased people, the uncle who's cooking or chomaing the meat, or the auntie who's making the stew. And there's always the other one, the uncle who pitters next to the grill.
Right.
Always commenting. Ay, hii geuza hii side ingine.
Is
The
that motor
guy
enough?
never does anything, but he's always just passing by and naonewa nyama ni kai inachomeka.
Umekatakata.
I think you should just turn that meat kidogo. Or the auntie will, hey, that's stew. I think you should add some bit more salt.
It's too
and they
light.
contributed nothing
It's too light.
to the process. They've not even done
They've not
anything.
even brought nyanyas.
Yeah, nothing. So I don't want to be those aunties or uncles
Right. Okay.
and start telling
get
you
it.
how to turn that piece of meat and grill it better.
But maybe
because what you have said is the essence. Why we're having this conversation.
It's true.
Yeah, but this is just a start. We're going
is.
to have a lot more that we want to be talking about over a longer period of time. We promise this show has a name.
By the time this thing is airing, there will be a name. So you won't be clicking on video 1. You'll be clicking on a name. So when that name comes,
7 years later, video 300.
this is the first of many. Episode 1. Let us know what you think on the comment section, whether we are talking gibberish or if you know someone who can actually come and sit down with us.
Yeah.
And,
By the way,
you know, just
provided we are part of the conversation.
yes.
Like, don't bring someone to kick us out at you.
We are
This guy
talking.
can do it better.
Yeah, for those ones, we're going to block you. Delete comment. Block out. Nini. Anyway, we're joking. Just go ahead and comment and tell us what you think, whether what we're saying makes sense, and what vulnerable topics that are out there that need to be talked about, especially for men, right? Because you know there's sex, there's communication, there's money.
There's emotional support.
Emotional
damage.
There's emotions, there's girls, there's boys as well.
The world. By there, there's a lot.
There's a lot that
we
can be talked about, right? So especially when it comes to men.
Yeah.
But just let us know in the comment section. Subscribe and hit that like button if that is what you like to do. You know, just
you know how those guys do it. Click on subscribe here, and then they end up never pointing where the subscribe
they
thing
never
is.
know what.
Click subscribe here.
So as we keep going, the videos will be popping out here. Then you can subscribe here. Then you can, send money over here. Then on this other side, you can, check us out on our match.
Yeah.
That's when the match comes.
Yeah.
Then you can click
Manifesting paid partnerships.
For paid partnerships, you know what I'm
If
saying?
you have a product that you'd like us to highlight on the show,
come through.
send us a sample.
We gotta check it out.
And then we'll make sure we don't cause you emotional damage by not having your product on the show.
Thank you, Richie.
Hey,
thank you,
I've
guy
enjoyed
behind the
this.
camera. I don't know if he was doing anything behind the camera, but hey. He was talking to his chick on WhatsApp.
Vibes and inshallah.
Yeah. So, bless, protect your life, protect your company, protect your friends. We out. Out here. Peace.
It was good. I actually liked it.
Jump down and I'm like, where did that put?
But me, they feel.